Hello, everybody. Jonathan from Capitalize on Mistakes. We'll be taking some questions this afternoon.
This is Gary from RedTube.com here. One of the biggest things that we've noticed here is that you had picked up Justin Jefferson with the 8th overall pick in the draft. Kind of walk us through your emotions a little bit with seeing Justin Jefferson fall so late in the first round. What were some of the thoughts that were going through your mind still seeing him available on the draft board?
I was very surprised, actually. Started seeing everybody that they were picking up, and there was no way that I thought I was going to be able to have Jefferson. When it came to my pick, I think I chose him in under 3 seconds because I was just in disbelief that he was still on there. Not sure what the other managers were thinking that went ahead of me or why Justin Jefferson went as low as he did, but I am more than forever grateful for those managers to let him drop to me.
Thank you for that. We actually were seeing reports that you drafted that player faster than auto draft could actually draft some of the players that were taken. So that is some kind of record there that we've seen. So thank you for that.
Disbelief.
Thank you for that answer.
Follow up to that question: does the lack of depth in the Vikings team, constant injuries, and may he rest in peace, a recent passing, does that scare you anything about JJ's performance?
It does not, because I feel like Justin Jefferson is one of those wide receivers that it does not matter who is the QB, he is going to perform at all time levels. So I am not worried about that whatsoever this year.
That's true. That's true.
JJ Gary from damperlips.com here. We see that you have Rachaad White. Looks like he is your second starting running back. Projected about 13.1 points a game. With the performances that we've seen in the preseason with up-and-coming rookie running back Bucky Irving, does that raise any kind of concern about Bucky possibly sliding into that running back 1 spot? And if so, do you feel confident in the level of depth that you have at the running back spot to still be able to move on with the season?
Perfect question. So I'll answer it in 2 parts. So part number 1 about Bucky. I have some inside information. I actually attended a preseason game, right? And I was able to actually watch Rachaad White live. After his performance, he actually scored a touchdown, right, in the first drive. I am very, very confident in his ability to perform. And the second part, my lack of depth at the running back position, I don't think I will be swapping out my running backs between Rachaad White and Jonathan Taylor, except for the bye weeks. So I'm not worried at all about what running backs I have on the bench.
I understand. Thank you for that.
Jared, I see a Joshua Allen fell to you in the 3rd round. Was that an instant draft? Or?
Oh, absolutely. That was absolutely an instant draft. Josh Allen is one of those players that will be on my team for as long as I am in this league. So
one would say you'd have an infatuation with said Joshua Allen, as said in the AI song by Courtney.
So that AI song did say that. My thing with Josh Allen is I like to win, right? And Josh Allen, if anything, has shown that he is a winner in the quarterback position for fantasy football year in, every single year.
Thank you for clearing that last part.
Absolutely.
Gary from Dogfart Network.
How many networks are there?
We've seen that Jerry G landed a spot on your final roster. According to all fantasy reports, about 62% of leagues have him rostered, and as low as a 7% start rate. Do you think he's going to get any minutes? Do you think he's going to be a valuable asset to your team this year?
I certainly believe so. I have high hopes for him. I know that the reports are bad, but given that the Browns just paid him, I'd have to assume that he has to get minutes over Elijah Moore, who has been doing very bad in the past couple of years. Now this gives the Browns another offensive weapon alongside Amari Cooper that Deshaun Watson can use. So I have high hopes for him.
There was a previous interview with a manager, Ramos Vaca. He was asked a question about any teams that he's excited to face, his opinion on said teams, and if there are any that would be quote-unquote duds. What do you have to say about this?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I certainly do not want to point out any one specific team, and I certainly will not say any names, but honestly, I am really excited to face Gigantes this year. Pretty sure that manager is Gabriel Roa Hernandez. So, like I said, I don't want to mention anybody, but I'm super excited. I've seen some bad teams drafted before, but by golly, I think this one might be the worst. So, I will say I'm super excited to face them this year.
It seems you had a pretty good drafting strategy during the live draft. Do you have anything to say about Mr. Hernandez-Roa's draft strategy? Anything to say about the preseason trades?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly he traded his 4th round pick for 6th and 8th round, right? So that 4th round pick ended up being Mahomes.
Is that something you would have done?
Oh, absolutely not. I would have never done that. 6th and then an 8th round pick. I mean, you pick up Evan Engram and Javonte Williams. Those are not game-changing players. So you traded away one of the best QBs in the league for 2 players that are probably going to sit on your bench. So I highly disagree with that.
Gary from Vixen.com. We see George Pickens is on your bench. With his solid skill set, how likely would you say it is that he may move into a flex position at some time during this season?
He very well may move into a flex position this season. He's starting off on the bench because I want to see how the QB situation is going to unfold in Pittsburgh with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I know that he's going to be the number 1 target. Obviously, they lost Deontay Johnson, so I'm excited to see how they're going to utilize him in the offense. And if they do use him, as I expect that they will, then he can certainly earn a spot in the flex position.
Thank you.
Week 2, you are facing Mr. Kona. Are you excited about facing him? It seems he had a sort of a lackluster draft. One of a few teams that actually had a sort of lackluster draft. If you face him again later on in the season, what do you expect to be the results?
I certainly expect to win. You know, after reviewing this roster, I feel like he is lacking in the running back position. He is throwing a reach on Lamar Jackson, who I feel is not that good of a QB. So I am excited to play him, and I feel like my decisions on my roster is going to prove that the better team is going to win.
Well, seeing as how that's your opinion on facing this team, is there any other team you feel similarly about?
Yes, you know, again, I really hate, you know, picking on specific teams and specific managers, so I'm going to refrain from doing that. But again, Gigantes and Gabriel Roa Hernandez that's the other team that I feel the same exact way.
Well, some might say directly calling out another coach, another manager, might be going a step too far. However, if you can back up the talk, does that even matter?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. That's why I don't like to call out specific coaches, right? So I don't want to call out Gabriel Roa Hernandez. But I don't think I've actually lost to him in the past 3 years. So that's that.
Seeing as how he's been in the bottom half, way underneath 500 these past few years in the league, what do you think the future of his spot in the league is?
Unfortunately, I feel like this is like one of those positions where he might be on his way out. I know that he's one of the oldest fantasy managers that we have in our league.
Oldest, wow.
He is approaching 50 now, so it might be time to just throw in the towel, and you know, maybe our minds just don't work as good as they used to when we were younger.
That's correct. That's a very good breakdown. Thank you very much.
Gary from xnxx.com. Knowing that you have a solid team and some wins can attribute to eliminating possibly one person from the league, putting their job in jeopardy, how do you kind of roll with the punches during the season with that? Is it something that you feel any kind of regret or remorse towards? Or is it just another day at work?
Yeah, no, it's just another day. I come here to win. That's all I care about.
It's very well said. Very well said.
Please.
Any other questions?
No further questions.
Yeah, it seems as though there was one team that just has refused to speak to you. Do you have anything to say about that?
You know, sometimes peasants don't want to speak to kings, and that's just another day at work. So
That was very eloquently put together. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you very much.